Do you truly understand the miraculous power pulsating within your very words? Have you ever paused, truly paused, to consider that the invisible substance of the universe, the very fabric of your financial destiny, hangs suspended, waiting for the command of your lips, the unwavering decree of your soul? If you are ready to unleash this divine dominion, to see your world transform before your very eyes, then prepare to awaken. Let this sacred knowledge permeate your being, and remember to subscribe to this channel and like this video to continue receiving these divine revelations that unlock the abundance awaiting you. My beloved friends, gathered here in the boundless expanse of the universal mind, I come to you not as a teacher imparting lessons, but as a truth scribe, unveiling the ancient, immutable laws that govern your every breath, your every desire, your every triumph. For too long, humanity has stumbled in the shadows of ignorance, unaware of the omnipotent force that resides within the seemingly simple act of speaking a word. Yet, I tell you, with the authority of the divine spirit flowing through me, that your word is not merely sound, it is vibration, intention, creation. It is the very scepter by which you rule your kingdom, the invisible blueprint upon which your visible world is meticulously, miraculously drawn. Consider, if you will, the profound simplicity of the divine fiat itself. Let there be light, and there was light. What was this but a spoken word, an absolute declaration from the great architect of all that is? And are you not made in his image and likeness? Do you not, therefore, carry within you the spark of that same creative omnipotence? Ah, but you see, this is where so many falter. They speak words of lack, words of fear, words of limitation, and then wonder why their lives reflect this very barren landscape. They sow thorns and thistles, then weep when they do not reap roses. This, my dears, is not punishment, it is law. It is the perfect, unwavering outworking of a cosmic principle. What you speak, you summon. What you declare, you create. The universe, in its infinite wisdom and absolute impartiality, is a perfect servant, awaiting your command. It does not discern between good and evil, between what you desire and what you dread. It simply takes your spoken word, your deeply felt conviction, and brings it forth into manifestation. It is the clay in the hands of the potter, and you, my precious ones, are the potter. With your lips you mold your circumstances. With your tongue you weave the tapestry of your destiny. This is why the ancient scriptures proclaim, death and life are in the power of the tongue. It is not a poetic flourish, but a literal truth, a scientific fact of the spiritual realm. Many have sought riches, fame, and success through arduous labor, through endless striving, through the mere manipulation of external circumstances. And while diligence has its place, it is but a minor player in the grand symphony of manifestation. The true power lies not in the sweat of your brow, but in the unstirred conviction of your inner being, vocalized and released into the ethers. Think of Thomas Edison, that grand alchemist of the electric age. Did he not speak his vision into being countless times before the physical manifestation appeared? Did he not declare, with unwavering faith, the existence of a light bulb, even when the world declared it impossible? His words, infused with unyielding belief, were the true conductors of his genius, drawing forth the invisible energy into tangible form. He understood, perhaps intuitively, the law of the spoken word. Consider also the great industrialists, the titans of finance, those who seemingly commanded empires into existence. Was it merely their cunning, their ruthlessness, or was it more profoundly unwavering mental image, declared and decreed? Andrew Carnegie, a man who rose from humble beginnings to amass a fortune beyond imagining, spoke of the power of the mind, of definite purpose. He understood that the mental blueprint, vocalized and held, was the precursor to all material accumulation. He declared his intentions, not merely in the quiet chambers of his mind, but often to those around him, solidifying the vibration, sending it forth with unstoppable momentum. The universe, ever obedient, responded. The very air you breathe, the ground beneath your feet, the vibrant energy of your thoughts, all are but divine substance, formless and awaiting direction. And the most potent director of this substance is your spoken word. When you declare, I am prosperous, divine abundance flows to me now, under grace, in perfect ways. You are not merely uttering sounds, you are sending forth a vibratory command into the ether, instructing the formless to take form, compelling the invisible to become visible. You are magnetizing to yourself the very conditions that align with that declaration. But the human mind, that fickle instrument, so often rebels against this simple truth. It whispers doubts, it brings forth fears, it reminds you of past failures, of present limitations. It says, "How can this be? I see no evidence." And here, my dear friends, is where the battle is won or lost. For the law of the spoken word operates not on sight, but on faith. It is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. You must speak your word with such conviction, with such a deep-seated knowing, that it becomes more real to you than any apparent lack in your outer world. Let us consider the grand visionary, Walt Disney. Did he not dream a fantastical kingdom into being long before a single brick was laid, long before a single brushstroke graced the animation cell? He spoke of Disneyland, of his characters, of the magic, with such passionate conviction that it became an undeniable reality. He understood that the blueprint of the imagination, when married with the spoken word of affirmation and belief, becomes an irresistible force that draws forth the necessary resources, the necessary people, the necessary inspiration. His words were not idle chatter, they were the very incantations that brought forth a world of joy and wonder. Many spiritual teachers have echoed this profound truth. Dr. Frank Crane, with his profound insights into the power of positive thinking, understood that our words are not mere expressions of our thoughts, but the very instruments by which those thoughts take root and blossom into reality. He taught that a healthy mind, expressing itself through positive declarations, literally creates a healthy and prosperous environment. And Orison Swett Marden, that great apostle of self-help, tirelessly expounded upon the power of definite aims and the absolute necessity of speaking those aims into existence, not merely hoping for them. He knew that the universe responds to clarity of intention, delivered through the powerful medium of the spoken word. The challenge, you see, is not in the universe's capacity to deliver, but in your capacity to believe, to hold the vision steadfastly, and to speak your truth without wavering. The law of the spoken word demands absolute certainty, an unwavering conviction that what you have declared is already so in the spiritual realm, and is therefore swiftly manifesting in the physical. It is not about begging, it is about decreeing. It is not about wishing, it is about knowing. Ponder the profound wisdom of Prentice Mulford, who spoke of the law of spirit, explaining how thought, when given form through the spoken word, becomes a potent force in the universe. He understood that the invisible realms are teeming with possibilities, waiting for your specific instruction, your clear command, delivered through the power of your vocalized desire. And Thomas Troward, that brilliant mind who delved deeply into the principles of mental science, taught that the word is the seed, and the universal mind is the soil. When you plant a seed of affirmation, watered by faith, it cannot help but grow into its perfect manifestation. The law is inviolable. So when you hold money in your hand, do you see it merely as paper, as metal, as a limited resource? Or do you see it as divine substance, as a symbol of the boundless abundance of the universe, ready to multiply at your command? This is the secret, my dears. When you hold it, do not speak of its scarcity, do not recount your debts, do not fear its dissipation. Instead, look upon it with awe, with gratitude, and with an unwavering conviction in its divine origin and its capacity for limitless expansion. Speak to it. Yes, speak to the very essence of it. Affirm its divine nature. Declare its multiplication. Say, with all the conviction of your soul, divine substance, multiply in my hands. I bless you with increase. I see you flowing back to me, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. For the energy of money, like all energy, responds to the vibration you impress upon it. When you bless it, you open the channels for more to flow. When you declare its multiplication, you set in motion the invisible forces that bring about its increase. This is not some whimsical incantation, it is a scientific application of spiritual law. The word you speak is the mold, and the formless substance of the universe pours itself into that mold. If your mold is lack, lack will appear. If your mold is abundance, abundance will manifest. It is as precise as any mathematical equation. Think of Annie Ricks Millets, who beautifully articulated the science of the spoken word in healing and prosperity. She understood that every thought, every word, carries a vibratory frequency that attracts. It's like, to speak words of health is to invite health. To speak words of wealth is to invite wealth. It is the simple, yet profound law of attraction operating through the most powerful medium known to humanity, your vocalized intention. The spiritual masters throughout history have understood this. Christian D. Larson, with his emphasis on the poise of the soul, knew that an inner calm, when combined with positive declaration, could move mountains. He taught that the power of the word stems from the deep-seated conviction within. And Ernest Holmes, founder of religious science, built an entire philosophy upon the foundational truth that the universe responds to our thought and spoken word. He taught that we are co-creators with God, and our words are the very instruments of that co-creation. The very air around you is pregnant with possibilities, waiting to bring forth your spoken word. But you must be impeccable with your word. For every idle word, every careless complaint, every fearful utterance casts a seed into the field of your life, and that seed, too, will bear fruit after its kind. This is why the wise say, "Guard your tongue more carefully than your gold." For your tongue, my friends, is the true treasury. This principle extends to every area of your life. Do you desire health? Speak health. Declare, "Every cell in my body is now radiating divine health and perfection." Do you desire harmonious relationships? Speak harmony. Affirm, "Divine love expresses through me, and divine love surrounds me, attracting only perfect relationships into my life." The universe hears, the universe responds, the universe manifests. The poet Ella Wheeler Wilcox beautifully captured the essence of this truth when she wrote, "The world is waiting for you to declare your good." She understood that the universe is not holding back from you, it is merely awaiting your unequivocal instruction, delivered with the power of your word. This is not a matter of pleading with some external deity. It is a matter of understanding your own inherent divinity, your own co-creative power. You are not separate from the infinite. You are an individualized expression of it. And as such, you possess the very same creative faculty. When you speak, the universe listens, because you are speaking from the very heart of the universal mind. Carl Jung, the profound psychologist, spoke of the collective unconscious, of archetypes and symbols that resonate deep within the human psyche. And while his focus was often on the inner landscape, his work implicitly supports the idea that our expressed thoughts and words tap into a universal reservoir of energy and meaning. When we speak an affirmation, we are not only programming our conscious mind, but also resonating with profound truths within the collective consciousness, drawing forth their power. So, when you handle money, hold it with reverence, as a sacred symbol of the infinite supply. And then, with the full authority of your divine nature, speak the word of increase. Do not whisper it, do not mumble it, declare it, proclaim it. Let your voice ring with the certainty of one who knows they are speaking truth into existence. Swami Vivekananda, that enlightened soul from the East, taught of the power of concentration and the manifestation of thought. He understood that a focused mind, expressing itself through clear intention, could bring about any desired reality. Our words are the externalization of that concentrated intention. They are the release valve for the internal power. This is why, my beloved ones, I implore you to become conscious of every word that issues forth from your lips. Let every utterance be a blessing. Let every declaration be a step towards your highest good. For the universe is not listening to your reasons or your excuses. It is responding to your words. It is simply bringing forth the outpicturing of that which you have declared. Remember the profound teaching of G.I. Gurdjieff, who spoke of conscious labor and intentional suffering as paths to awakening. While his methods were different, the underlying principle of conscious effort and intention in shaping one's reality resonates deeply with the law of the spoken word. Your words are your conscious labor, your intentions, your suffering, or your triumph are the fruits. And Napoleon Hill, that diligent student of success, spent a lifetime dissecting the habits and thoughts of the world's most prosperous individuals. What did he find as a common thread? Definiteness of purpose, articulated and reaffirmed. The power of the mastermind and the constant affirmation of goals. These are all expressions of the law of the spoken word in action, whether consciously recognized as such or not. The law of the spoken word is not a magic trick. It is a fundamental principle of the universe, as reliable as gravity. You cannot defy it. You can only work with it or suffer the consequences of ignoring it. If you continually speak of lack, you will experience lack. If you continually speak of limitation, you will create limitation. But if you begin, now, today, to speak of abundance, of health, of joy, of divine success, then these are the very conditions you will magnetize to yourself. Let your words become anchors, firmly rooted in the boundless sea of supply. Let them become seeds, planted in the fertile soil of the universal mind. Let them become decrees, issued from the throne of your own Christ consciousness. For when you speak with conviction, with faith, with unwavering certainty, the heavens open, and the divine substance flows, eager to take form according to your perfect word. This is your birthright, my friends. This is your power, and it begins, and ends with the word you speak. My dearest seekers of truth, having unveiled the potent, undeniable force of your spoken word, the very instrument by which you call forth your desires from the invisible into the visible, we now turn our gaze to the essential, animating spirit that breathes life into every declaration: faith. For a word, no matter how perfectly articulated, remains but an empty vessel, without the divine current of conviction flowing through it. It is faith, that unwavering inner knowing, that transforms mere sound into creative power. The scriptures declare, "Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen." This is not some abstract theological concept, my friends. It is a profound scientific principle of the spiritual realm. Faith is the spiritual substance that gives tangibility to your unseen desires. It is the unshakable certainty that what you have decreed is already done in the invisible, and therefore must manifest in the visible. Without this evidence of things not seen, your word remains rootless, like a seed cast upon barren rock. Consider the great healers of every age, those who laid hands upon the sick and saw instantaneous transformations. Was it their physical touch alone? No. It was the absolute faith radiating from their very being, the deep conviction that the divine perfection already resided within the afflicted, awaiting only the command to express itself. Their words of healing were not pleas. They were decrees born of an unshakable inner knowing. They saw not the disease, but the perfect health, and their faith drew forth that perfection. Many stumble at this point, saying, "But how can I have faith when I see no evidence, when my bank account is bare, when my body aches with dis-ease?" And to this, I answer, faith precedes evidence, it does not follow it. You do not see a full harvest and then plant the seed. You plant too. He seed in faith, knowing the harvest will come. You do not see a grand masterpiece and then apply the brushstrokes. You apply the brushstrokes with faith in the masterpiece you are creating in your mind. The world teaches you to believe what you see. The divine law teaches you to see what you believe. This reversal is the great turning point, the gateway to all miracles. When you say, "I am rich," despite the apparent lack, you are not engaging in self-deception. You are acknowledging a spiritual truth that transcends your present circumstances. You are aligning yourself with the infinite abundance that is eternally yours, and your faith acts as the magnetic force that draws it into your experience. Think of Thomas Edison once more. Did he not face countless failures in his pursuit of the incandescent light bulb? One might say he failed thousands of times. But did he lose faith? Never. He understood that each seeming failure was merely another step, another pathway explored, revealing what didn't work, bringing him closer to what would. His faith in the ultimate success of his invention was so profound that it obliterated the very concept of failure. He saw the light before it physically manifested, and that unwavering vision, fueled by faith, propelled him forward. His words of resolve and conviction, even in the face of immense challenge, were the very fuel that ignited his genius. This profound conviction, this unyielding faith, is what distinguishes the true alchemists of life from those who merely drift along. Andrew Carnegie, as we noted, spoke of definite purpose, but that definite purpose was nothing without the unwavering faith in its attainment. He didn't just think he would build an empire, he knew it. He spoke of it with authority, and that authority sprang from the deep wellspring of his faith. He moved mountains of steel and finance, not just with rude business acumen, but with the unseen power of his absolute belief in his vision. When you speak your word, you are essentially making a demand upon the universal supply, and the supply, being infinite and intelligent, responds perfectly to the quality of your demand. A weak, wavering word, laced with doubt, is like a hesitant whisper in a hurricane. It is lost. But a word saturated with faith, resounding with the certainty of "it is done," is a command that the universe cannot ignore. It sets in motion forces beyond human comprehension. This is why it is vital to stand guard at the gateway of your mind, allowing no thought of doubt or fear to poison the wellspring of your faith. For every thought that contradicts your spoken word is like a weed in the garden of your manifestation. You must cultivate your mental garden diligently, pulling out every negative thought, every limiting belief, and replacing it with the radiant truth of your divine inheritance. Consider the extraordinary journey of Walt Disney. He faced bankruptcy, rejection, and immense skepticism. Yet, did his faith in his dreams ever waver? No. He held a steadfast vision of his fantastical worlds, his beloved characters, and his capacity to bring joy to millions. His faith was the invisible architect of Disneyland, the unshakable foundation upon which his entire empire was built. He spoke of magic, and his faith made it real. He declared his dreams, and his unwavering belief compelled the universe to deliver. The power of faith is not merely for the grand scale, but for the intricate details of your daily life. When you bless your food, not just as a ritual, but with sincere faith in its capacity to nourish and vitalize your body, you imbue it with healing energy. When you step out your door and declare, "Divine opportunities meet me at every turn," with absolute conviction, you are literally magnetizing those opportunities to yourself. Dr. Frank Crane, with his emphasis on the power of the inner life, understood that faith was the crucial element that transformed mere wishing into potent creation. He saw faith as the spiritual muscle that, when exercised, could lift any burden and overcome any obstacle. And Orison Swett Marden, that tireless advocate for personal growth, emphasized that belief in oneself, and in the infinite power of the universe to support one's aspirations, was the very bedrock of success. He taught that a strong, unwavering faith was the greatest asset anyone could possess. The challenge lies in cultivating this unshakable faith when the outer circumstances scream otherwise. This is where the practice comes in. This is where you must act as if, even when you do not yet see, you must speak the word, then feel the conviction of its truth. You must act as if your good is already present, even while awaiting its physical manifestation. Prentice Mulford eloquently spoke of the law of reciprocity, explaining that what you send out in thought and word, imbued with feeling, must return to you. He understood that faith is not just a mental assent, it is a feeling state, a deep inner knowing that resonates with the universal law. When you radiate faith, you draw back its perfect complement. And Thomas Troward, with his rigorous logical approach to spiritual principles, showed that faith is the intellectual apprehension of a truth that transcends physical evidence. It is the spiritual logic that concludes, if God is all good, and I am made in his image, then all good is available to me. Consider the simple act of holding money. Do you hold it with fear that it will diminish? Or do you hold it with unwavering faith in its divine multiplication? This is the pivotal point. When you say, "Divine substance, multiply in my hands," do you truly believe it with every fiber of your being? Do you feel the expansion, the increase, even before you see it? This feeling, this absolute conviction, is the faith that causes the invisible wealth to rush into your experience. Remember G.I. Gurdjieff's emphasis on conscious faith, a faith that is not blind but born of understanding and inner work. He taught that true faith is an internal state of being that leads to real results. This is the faith that empowers your words, and Napoleon Hill, through his years of research, concluded that definiteness of purpose combined with faith was the unstoppable force behind all great achievements. He showed how the most successful individuals cultivated an unyielding belief in their ability to achieve their goals, often against overwhelming odds. Your faith is not a mere feeling, it is a spiritual muscle that grows stronger with every exercise. Use it to believe in the seemingly impossible, use it to transcend your current limitations. Use it to impregnate every word you speak with the power of the divine. For with unwavering faith, combined with the power of your word, there is truly nothing that shall be impossible unto you. The universe awaits your command, imbued with your perfect faith. My cherished companions on this path of illumination, we have explored the foundational truth of the spoken word, the very scepter of your creative power, and illuminated the vital current of faith that breathes life into your every declaration. Now, let us ascend to the majestic realm of vision, for it is here, within the sacred chamber of your divine imagination, that the blueprint of your future is first conceived, nurtured, and ultimately projected onto the canvas of your outer world. Many speak of vision as a mere daydream, a fleeting fantasy. But I tell you, with the certainty of the cosmic law, that vision is the spiritual faculty of seeing beyond the apparent, of apprehending the truth of your good as already accomplished in the mind of God. It is the architect's drawing, the sculptor's internal model, the detailed plan that precedes all manifestation. Without a clear, unwavering vision, your words, though spoken with faith, may lack direction, like a ship without a rudder, tossed upon the waves of uncertainty. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, is a perfect responder to the clarity of your mental images. It does not discern between what you see with your physical eyes and what you perceive with the eyes of your soul. It simply takes the dominant picture held within your consciousness and brings it forth into form. This is why the wise have always emphasized the power of imagination, for it is through this divine faculty that you literally create the template for your future experiences. Consider the biblical injunction, where there is no vision, the people perish. This is not merely a moral platitude, it is a spiritual warning. Without a clear mental picture of your desired good, your energy dissipates, your faith falters, and your life drifts aimlessly. But with a vibrant, vivid vision, every word you speak, every action you take, every thought you entertain, aligns itself with that powerful central image, magnetizing to you all that is necessary for its perfect manifestation. Think once more of Thomas Edison. His genius lay not just in tireless experimentation, but in his unshakable vision of a world illuminated by electric light. He saw the light bulb burning brightly, long before he held a working filament in his hand. He envisioned the widespread application of electricity, transforming cities and lives, even when skepticism abounded. This powerful, detailed vision acted as a magnetic North Star, guiding his every effort, pulling solutions and resources into his experience. His mind was a projector, and his vision was the film, transforming the world before him. And what of Andrew Carnegie? His steel empire, his vast philanthropic endeavors, all began as a clear, compelling vision in the mind of a young, ambitious man. He didn't just wish for wealth, he saw himself at the helm of a colossal industry, providing jobs, shaping the landscape of a nation. Annie Ricks Millets, with her profound understanding of the inner life, taught that the only barrier to our good is our lack of faith. She illustrated how miracles are simply the outworking of perfect spiritual law, put into motion by unwavering belief. She understood that doubt is the enemy, not of God, but of your own manifestation. The truly successful individuals of the world, whether in finance, art, or science, have always operated from a place of profound faith, not blind optimism, but a deep inner knowing that their vision was possible, and that the universe would conspire to bring it forth. They did not allow the limitations of their present reality to dictate the possibilities of their future. Their faith was their compass, their shield, and their invincible sword. Christian D. Larson meticulously detailed the power of the subconscious mind and how it responds to our conscious declarations, particularly when imbued with deep conviction. He taught that faith is the language the subconscious understands most clearly, and it is the subconscious that then moves the universe on our behalf. And Ernest Holmes, in his teachings of Science of Mind, continually emphasized that faith is not a leap in the dark, but a logical conclusion based on the understanding of universal law. To have faith is to simply trust the omnipresent, omnipotent creative principle to respond to your clear intention. It is said that a mustard seed of faith can move mountains. This is not a metaphor, my friends, but a literal truth in the spiritual dimension. For a mountain, in this context, is any obstacle, any challenge, any apparent lack that stands between you and your good. And faith, even a tiny spark of it, when cultivated and consistently applied, generates an irresistible force that dissolves all limitations. The beautiful poetry of Ella Wheeler Wilcox often spoke of the power of belief and the indomitable spirit of humanity. She knew that our internal state, our faith, was the true determinant of our external reality. Her verses inspire us to rise above doubt and embrace the power of our own inner conviction. This faith must be active faith, not passive wishing. It is not enough to merely intellectualize these truths. You must live them, you must speak them, feel them, and act upon them as if they are already so. This means taking inspired action, even if it is a small step, that is consistent with the reality you are claiming. This is the bridge between the invisible and the visible. Carl Jung, exploring the depths of the psyche, spoke of synchronicity, meaningful coincidences that defy mere chance. These synchronicities often occur when our conscious intention, fueled by strong faith, aligns with the unconscious currents of the universe. It is as if the universe itself conspires to bring forth that which you hold in mind and heart with unwavering conviction. When you hold money and declare its multiplication, your faith is the engine. It is the deep hum of certainty that resonates with the infinite supply, beckoning it forth. Without that faith, the declaration is hollow. But with it, you are literally calling forth the very substance of wealth from the invisible realms. Swami Vivekananda repeatedly emphasized the importance of self-belief and the power of will. He taught that true spiritual power comes from a concentrated mind and an unwavering faith in one's own divine nature. This self-belief, this profound faith in the self, is the ultimate key to unlocking all potential. So, cultivate your faith, my friends. Nurture it like a precious seedling. Protect it from the harsh winds of doubt and the gnawing insects of fear. Feed it with daily affirmations, with gratitude, and with the constant reminder of your divine heritage. For your faculty, Ayat is the fertile soil in which your spoken word takes root, flourishes, and brings forth a magnificent harvest of all good things. This precise mental blueprint, held with conviction, became the invisible force that orchestrated the intricate dance of finance, innovation, and human endeavor to bring his grand designs into being. He envisioned the outcome, and the universe provided the means. The power of vision is often understated, yet it is the very birthplace of miracles. When you lack a clear vision, you are like an artist without a subject, a composer without a melody. Your creative energies, though present, remain undirected. But when you conceive a grand, exhilarating vision for your life, for your finances, for your health, for your relationships, you awaken the dormant potential within you and in the universe. This vision must be clear, concise, and emotionally charged. It should excite you, inspire you, and fill you with a profound sense of purpose. It should be a picture so vivid that you can step into it, feel it, taste it, hear it, and smell it. The more detail you infuse into your vision, the more potent it becomes as a magnet for its realization. Remember Walt Disney's unparalleled ability to envision worlds that had never existed. He didn't just think of a theme park, he saw every detail of Disneyland, from the castle spires to the character costumes, from the thrilled faces of the children to the joyful sounds of the parades. This meticulous, emotionally rich vision was not merely entertainment, it was a spiritual blueprint that compelled the physical world to conform to its exquisite design. He held the picture, and the universe delivered the reality. Many spiritual teachers have emphasized this crucial element. Dr. Frank Crane, in his insightful writings, constantly urged readers to cultivate a clear mental picture of their desired outcomes. He understood that thoughts, when held in a vivid image, become powerful attractors, and Orison Swett Marden dedicated his life to teaching people how to pull their desires into manifestation by first holding them firmly in the mind's eye. He knew that the clarity of the mental image was a direct precursor to its physical realization. So, how do you cultivate this divine faculty of vision? By intentional, disciplined practice. Spend time each day in quiet contemplation, not merely wishing, but seeing. Close your eyes and paint the picture of your ideal life. See yourself surrounded by abundance. See yourself radiating vibrant health. See yourself in harmonious relationships. See your divine purpose unfolding perfectly. Feel the emotions associated with this realized vision, the joy, the peace, the gratitude. Prentice Mulford taught that the mind, when focused, is a powerful creative agent. He spoke of the importance of holding a perfect thought and allowing it to impress itself upon the subconscious mind, which then works to bring it forth. Your vision is that perfect thought, held consistently and vibrantly, and Thomas Troward, in his creative process in the individual, detailed how the subjective mind, when given a clear objective from the conscious mind, your vision, begins to actualize that reality in the external world. He taught that the power of the universe flows through the clear channel of a well-defined intention. When you hold money in your hand, do not merely see its current denomination. Envision it multiplying, see it attracting more, see your bank account overflowing. See yourself using this abundant resource to bless your life and the lives of others, funding your dreams, supporting causes you believe in. Do not merely say, multiply, but see it expanding, becoming a river of financial flow, endlessly returning to you, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. Your vision gives precision to your word. Annie Ricks Millets understood that healing and prosperity were first conceived in the inner realm. She taught that to heal the body, one must first hold a perfect vision of health. To manifest abundance, one must first clearly envision the flow of prosperity. And her teachings emphasized the importance of mental imagery as a precursor to all materialization. This is why it is critical to protect your vision from the corrosive influence of doubt and fear, from the cynical voices of the world. Your vision is a tender seedling. It needs nurturing and protection until it takes firm root. Do not speak of your dreams to those who will scoff or diminish them. Guard your sacred mental space fiercely, for it is the incubator of your divine future. The great minds of history understood this implicitly. Christian D. Larson taught the immense power of mental images in shaping our destiny. He emphasized that the subconscious mind responds powerfully to the pictures we consistently impress upon it, and these pictures, when vivid and positive, will invariably lead to positive outcomes. And Ernest Holmes, in his teachings, constantly brought students back to the fundamental principle that thought forms reality. He taught that our mental images are the very blueprints of our lives, and by consciously shaping these images, we consciously shape our world. Your vision is not just a personal fantasy. It is a divine directive. It is the whisper of the infinite, revealing to you what is possible for your life. When you align with this divine vision, you tap into an inexhaustible source of power and guidance. The universe literally conspires to bring your vision into reality, orchestrating circumstances, attracting people, opening doors, all in perfect alignment with the picture you hold. The profound insights of Ella Wheeler Wilcox often pointed to the inner world as the true source of all external reality. She intuitively grasped that our internal mental landscape, our dominant thoughts and images, were the creative force shaping our experiences. Her wisdom inspires us to cultivate a beautiful inner garden of thought and vision. Carl Jung, through his exploration of archetypes and the collective unconscious, showed how universal patterns and images resonate within us. While not directly speaking of manifestation in the same way, his work reveals the profound power of images and symbols in influencing the human psyche and, by extension, our reality. When you hold a powerful, archetypal vision of abundance, for instance, you are tapping into a universal truth that resonates across all consciousness. So, dare to dream, my friends, but more than merely dreaming, dare to see. Dare to create the most magnificent, exhilarating vision for your life, your finances, your relationships, your health. See it in vibrant color, feel it with every fiber of your being, and then, hold that vision steadfastly, allowing no external circumstance to diminish its brilliance. Swami Vivekananda emphasized that the mind is all-powerful, and that focused thought, imbued with strong will, can accomplish anything. His teachings underscore that our mental images are not static but dynamic, creative forces that shape our destiny. When you hold money, see not just the present sum, but the endless stream of prosperity that it represents, the vast, limitless supply from which it originates. See it as a seed, which, when planted in the fertile ground of your vision, brings forth 100-fold, 1,000-fold return. Your vision gives your money, and your life, its divine purpose and direction. Remember G.I. Gurdjieff's teachings on self-observation and conscious effort. Applying this to vision means consciously observing the images you hold in your mind, and making a deliberate effort to replace any limiting or negative images with empowering, expansive ones. Your vision is a conscious creation, and Napoleon Hill called this the mastermind principle when applied to collaboration, but the core of it was the power of a clear shares. Vision. Even individually, he showed that the greatest achievers had a precise mental picture of their goals and unwavering belief in their attainment. Your vision is the silent decree that sets the universe in motion. It is the magnetic force that draws to you everything that aligns with your highest good. Cultivate it, protect it, believe in it with every ounce of your being. For the moment you clearly see your good, the universe begins to arrange itself to bring that good into your physical experience. This is the divine law of vision, and it is yours to command. My beloved fellow travelers on the path of truth, we have delved into the profound power of the spoken word, the animating force of faith, and the divine blueprint of vision. Now, we arrive at a crucial junction, right action. For while the spiritual laws are absolute and immutable, they often require a bridge to cross from the invisible realms of thought and intention into the tangible world of manifestation. This bridge is built by your inspired, decisive action, taken in perfect alignment with your divine knowing. Many misunderstand this, believing that if they simply declare and believe, the universe will drop their desires into their lap without effort on their part. But I tell you, with the wisdom of the ages, that the universe, in its infinite ingenuity, often requires a point of contact for its blessings to flow. It needs an open channel, a willingness on your part to move, to do, to take the necessary steps that indicate your readiness to receive. This is not about arduous labor or desperate striving. It is about inspired action, guided by intuition, taken in faith. Right action is not forced, it is natural. It flows from a deep inner conviction, a whisper from the divine that says, "Go here, speak to this person, initiate this project." It is the universe meeting you halfway, providing the next logical step, the open door, the opportune encounter. Your role is not to see the entire staircase, but simply to take the first step in faith. No wing. that the next will be revealed. Consider, if you will, the monumental achievements of Thomas Edison. Did he merely sit and envision the light bulb? No, his vision was so potent, his faith so absolute, that it compelled him into relentless experimentation. His failures were not setbacks but right actions taken in the pursuit of his truth. Each attempt, each wiring, each material tested, was an action aligned with his burning vision. He did not merely wish for light, he worked for it, but his work was always inspired work, a direct response to the inner knowing of his ultimate success. And what of Andrew Carnegie? His immense wealth and industrial empire were not built solely on thought. His vision of a unified steel industry, his faith in its potential, propelled him into strategic alliances, shrewd investments, and bold decisions. These were not random acts, they were right actions, born of an inner conviction, taken with the certainty that they were leading him towards his pre-envisioned destiny. He moved capital, he acquired businesses, he organized immense workforces, all were powerful physical manifestations of his inner blueprint. The law of supply is always ready to flow, but it needs an avenue. Sometimes this avenue is a simple phone call, an email sent, a conversation initiated, a course enrolled in, a skill learned, or an opportunity embraced. The key is to distinguish between frantic, fear-driven activity and calm, inspired, right action. The former drains your energy and often yields little. The latter, infused with faith and clarity of vision, opens floodgates. Remember Walt Disney's journey. His vision for a magical kingdom was grand, but it didn't materialize on its own. He had to draw, to animate, to seek financing, to negotiate for land, to oversee construction, to hire thousands. Every single one of these was a right action, a physical manifestation of his unwavering commitment to his vision. He didn't wait for magic to happen. He created the magic through consistent, inspired effort. His actions were the physical threads woven into the tapestry of his dreams. Many spiritual teachers have emphasized the necessity of bridging the spiritual with the practical. Dr. Frank Crane, while deeply philosophical, also emphasized the importance of decisive action in practical affairs, seeing it as a necessary complement to right thinking. He knew that even the most profound truth must be lived. And Orison Swett Marden built his entire philosophy around pushing your way to the front, which was a clarion call to persistent, intelligent action driven by ambition and faith. He did not preach passive expectation, but active, inspired engagement with the world. So when the inspiration comes, when the clear direction whispers in your soul, act without hesitation. The universe often presents opportunities subtly, as a gentle nudge or an idea that seems to come out of nowhere. If you delay, if you doubt, if you rationalize, that divine window may close. The very act of stepping forward, even a small step, sends a powerful signal to the universe that you are ready, willing, and open to receive. Prentice Mulford taught that thought is the spiritual force, action is the material force. He articulated that for thought to fully manifest, it must eventually be externalized through action. The physical world responds to physical movement, but that movement is most potent when guided by a clear mental intention. And Thomas Troward, though primarily focused on the mental realm, also acknowledged the role of outward activity as the logical consequence of a correctly applied spiritual principle. The idea moves from the universal to the particular through the individual's action. When you hold money in your hand, you declare its multiplication and see it expanding. But then, what is your right action? Perhaps it is to intelligently invest a portion, to give generously to a cause you believe in, to pay a bill with a blessing, or to wisely plan for your future abundance. Your action, no matter how small, becomes a point of contact, a demonstration of your faith, and an opening for the universe to pour forth more. You are not just asking for rain, you are putting out your bucket. Annie Ricks Millets often spoke of demonstrating truth, meaning to prove spiritual principles through practical application. She encouraged her students not just to believe, but to live the truth, and to take actions that reflected their faith. For her, true spirituality was never separate from its practical, tangible outworking in daily life. The concept of luck often conceals the truth of right action. Those who seem lucky are often those who are consistently taking inspired, intelligent steps, who are open to opportunities, and who act decisively when the moment presents itself. They don't wait for things to happen to them. They make things happen, guided by their inner compass. Christian D. Larson detailed the power of working and how diligent, conscious action, when aligned with definite goals, inevitably leads to success. He taught that one must not only think great thoughts, but also be prepared to act upon them, to put in the necessary effort to actualize one's desires. And Ernest Holmes, in his teachings, emphasized that while thought is creative, it requires a channel for its expression. That channel is often the individual taking appropriate, purposeful action. This is not to say you should strive in desperation. Rather, it is to be receptive to divine guidance and then to act promptly upon it. Sometimes, the right action is to wait patiently, to cease striving, and to simply be still and know. Discerning the difference is key, and it comes through developing your intuition, that inner voice of wisdom. The wisdom of Ella Wheeler Wilcox often pointed to the fact that faith without works is dead. She understood that our convictions, our beliefs, must be externalized, given form through our actions, to fully manifest in the world. When our actions are the outward expression of our inner truth. Carl Jung's concept of individuation, the process of becoming a whole person, involves integrating the conscious and unconscious, the inner world with the outer. This integration often manifests as taking conscious action that aligns with one's deeper self and purpose, moving from potentiality to actuality. So, listen for the promptings. Watch for the open doors. Be prepared to step through them. When you hold money and declare its multiplication, ask yourself, what is the right action I can take now, however small, to demonstrate my faith and open the channel for greater flow? It might be to organize your finances, to learn more about investment, to create a budget of expansion, or simply to bless every transaction you make with the conviction of abundance. Swami Vivekananda spoke of the karma yoga, the path of selfless action. While his emphasis was spiritual liberation, the underlying principle is that all action, when performed with right intention and focus, has a transformative power. Our actions, when aligned with divine purpose, become instruments of creation. Your actions are the evidence of your faith. They are the physical expressions of your gratitude for what is already done in the spiritual realm. They are the magnets that draw your desired good into your physical experience. Do not procrastinate. Do not doubt. Act on your inspirations, and watch as the universe unfolds before you, bringing forth your perfect good. Remember G.I. Gurdjieff's emphasis on conscious effort and intentionality. Applied to action, this means not simply reacting to life, but deliberately choosing actions that are aligned with your higher goals and spiritual understanding. Every deliberate step forward is a right action. And Napoleon Hill, in his monumental work on success, emphasized the concept of organized planning, and taking definite action. He found that all successful individuals translated their desires, faith, and knowledge into concrete steps. Action, for him, was the ultimate manifestation of ambition. The law of right action is your invitation to actively participate in the creation of your reality. It is the bridge between your inner world of thought and your outer world of experience. Step onto that bridge with confidence, knowing that every step taken in faith, every action aligned with your divine vision, leads you inevitably to the perfect manifestation of all your heart's desires. The universe awaits your purposeful movement. My dear friends, as we have journeyed through the profound truths of the spoken word, the animating force of faith, the sacred blueprint of vision, and the essential bridge of right action, we now arrive at a principle often overlooked, yet absolutely crucial for the harmonious manifestation of your desires: divine timing. For while your part is to declare, believe, envision, and act, the universe, in its infinite wisdom, orchestrates the perfect moment and the perfect alignment for your good to appear. This is where the art of release truly begins. Many become impatient, striving, pushing, believing that their good must manifest on their own rigid timetable. Yet I tell you, with the authority of the cosmic flow, that trying to force a fruit to ripen before its season only leads to bitterness. Every spiritual seed you plant, every declaration you make, has its own gestation period, and the universe, being far more intelligent and far-seeing than your limited human mind, knows the perfect moment for your blessing to burst forth into full bloom. Divine timing is not about delay, it is about preparation and perfect alignment. It is the universe ensuring that all the necessary elements, the right people, the right circumstances, the right resources, are in place before your manifestation can unfold with ease and grace. To rush the process is to disrupt this intricate, divine orchestration. To trust the timing is to surrender to a wisdom far greater than your own. Consider the vastness of creation itself. Does the oak tree burst forth in a single day? Does the harvest appear overnight? No. There is a season for planting, a season for nurturing, and a season for reaping. This is the law of divine timing at play in the natural world, and it is no less true in the spiritual realm of your manifestations. Patience, then, is not merely a virtue, it is a practical application of spiritual law. Think of the genius of Thomas Edison. While he exhibited tireless action, he also understood the rhythm of discovery. He didn't abandon his work if a solution wasn't immediate. He worked with the process, knowing that the aha moment, the divine insight, would arrive in its own perfect timing. He respected the natural unfolding, even as he diligently pushed the boundaries of what was known. His unwavering patience was a testament to his trust in the ultimate outcome, knowing that the divine would reveal its secrets in due course. And what of Andrew Carnegie? His rise to power was not instantaneous. He built his empire brick by brick, acquisition by acquisition, often waiting for the opportune moment to strike a deal or expand. He cultivated a profound understanding of market forces, which is but another face of divine timing in the commercial sphere. He knew when to hold back, when to consolidate, and when to launch with full force. His success was a symphony of bold action interspersed with strategic patience, guided by an intuitive sense of when the time was ripe. The art of release is the spiritual discipline of letting go of the how and the when. It is the act of planting your seed, your spoken word, your faith, your vision, your action, and then stepping back with absolute trust, allowing the universal law to do its work. It is saying, I have declared my good. I have believed in it. I have seen it. I have taken my steps. Now, I release it to the infinite intelligence, knowing it will return to me in perfect divine timing, under grace, in perfect ways. Many hold on too tightly, constantly scrutinizing, fretting, and doubting if their manifestation is working. This clinging, this anxiety, is like trying to pull a plant up by its roots to see if it's growing. It chokes the very life out of your desire. Release is the breath of freedom that allows your manifestation to unfold effortlessly. Remember Walt Disney's journey. Did Disneyland appear overnight? No, it was a monumental undertaking with countless delays, financial hurdles, and technological challenges. But Disney possessed an innate understanding of the larger arc of his vision. He didn't panic. He persisted, trusting that each obstacle overcome, each solution found, was part of the divine unfolding. He released his impatience and held fast to his dream, allowing the larger forces to work on its behalf. He knew when to push, and when to simply trust the process. Many spiritual teachers have emphasized this crucial aspect of release. Dr. Frank Crane, with his profound understanding of mental tranquility, often spoke of the peace that comes from surrendering outcomes to a higher power. He knew that anxiety was the enemy of manifestation, whereas calm trust opened the door. And Orison Swett Marden, while advocating for bold ambition, also understood the wisdom of waiting for the opportune moment, of preparing oneself for the wave of opportunity rather than merely trying to conjure it. He knew that patience, when combined with preparation, was a formidable force. When you have declared your word, let it go. When you have cultivated your faith, let it permeate your being without strain. When you have envisioned your good, let it impress itself upon the universal mind. Wait. And you have taken your inspired action, release the outcome. This does not mean abandoning your desire, it means entrusting it to the care of the infinite. Prentice Mulford eloquently articulated the concept of the law of periodicity, explaining that everything in the universe operates in cycles and phases. He taught that trying to force outcomes against these natural rhythms was futile, and that true power lay in aligning with them. He emphasized that after planting a thought seed, one must allow the invisible processes to work without interference. And Thomas Troward, with his precise logic, explained that once the subjective mind, the universal mind within you, has received a clear impression, your word and vision, it will invariably proceed to manifest it. Your role then is to stand aside and allow the process to unfold. When you hold money in your hand, you declare its multiplication, you see it expanding, you take inspired action, and then, you release it into the flow of the universe. You do not hoard it in fear, for that is a sign of distrust. You do not cling to it as if it is your only source, for that denies the infinite supply. Instead, you use it wisely, you bless it, and you release it, knowing that it, like a homing pigeon, will return to you with reinforcements. You trust that its increase is already guaranteed in divine timing. Annie Ricks Millets taught that the universe works for us when we cease to work against ourselves. Working against ourselves often means worrying, striving, and forcing. She emphasized that true spiritual power lies in the calm, confident release of our desires to the universal law, knowing they will be perfectly fulfilled. The path to manifestation is not a frantic race. It is a sacred dance between your conscious intention and the universe's perfect orchestration. Your role is to initiate the dance, and then to trust the rhythm, to flow with the music of divine timing. Christian D. Larson spoke extensively about the law of compensation and the unfolding of results in Tiu. Perfect time. He taught that once the spiritual groundwork is laid, the natural order of the universe dictates that the desired outcome will manifest, provided one does not interfere with doubt or impatience. And Ernest Holmes, in his powerful teachings, constantly reminded his students to turn it over to the universal mind once the treatment, affirmation, was given. He knew that holding on to anxiety after declaring one's good was to negate the very power invoked. This release involves an inner calm, a profound sense of peace that comes from knowing that the universe is working on your behalf. It means silencing the nagging voice of worry, dismissing the urge to constantly check for results, and trusting that the divine process is unfolding perfectly, even when you see no immediate evidence. The timeless words of Ella Wheeler Wilcox often speak of patience and the slow unfolding of destiny. She understood that even the grandest dreams require time and a trust in the natural processes of life to come to fruition. Her poetry encourages us to embrace the rhythm of creation. Carl Jung's concept of synchronicity, as we touched upon, is deeply connected to divine timing. These meaningful coincidences, these perfect alignments, often appear when we have released our attachment to the how and when, and simply allowed the unconscious, collective forces to orchestrate our good. When you let go, the universe can then bring forth your desires in surprising and perfect ways. So, when you declare your word, infuse it with faith, visualize it with clarity, and take inspired action, and then, with a profound sense of peace, release it to divine timing. Do not hover over it, do not pull at it, let it go into the fertile ground of the universal mind, knowing it will blossom in its perfect season, in its perfect form, for your perfect good. Swami Vivekananda emphasized the power of renunciation and detachment, not in the sense of giving up desires, but of releasing attachment to the fruits of one's actions. This detachment allows the universal forces to work unhindered. This is the freedom of the soul, my friends. This is the wisdom of the ages. Trust the process. Trust the timing. Trust the infinite intelligence that governs all things. For when you truly release, you open the door for the universe to deliver your good in ways more magnificent than you could ever conceive. Recall G.I. Gurdjieff's teachings on self-remembering and maintaining presence. In the context of divine timing, this means being present with the unfolding process, rather than being lost in future anxieties or past regrets, trusting that each moment is part of the perfect plan. And Napoleon Hill, in his extensive research on success, found that even the most determined individuals understood the concept of patience and persistence. They knew that great achievements didn't happen overnight and required a certain grace period for the definite chief aim to fully materialize. The law of divine timing and release is your invitation to step into a state of effortless grace, to trust the benevolent intelligence that orders all things. Release your worries, release your need to control, and simply know that your good is on its way, manifesting perfectly, for your highest joy and benefit. This is the peace that surpasses all understanding, and it is yours. My cherished friends, as we journey deeper into the sacred science of manifestation, having embraced the potent spoken word, the animating spirit of faith, the divine blueprint of vision, the essential bridge of right action, and the wise surrender of divine timing, we now approach a principle of profound liberation, non-resistance. This is not passivity, my dears, but a dynamic, active alignment with the flow of life, a wisdom that allows your good to rush to you along the path of least opposition. Many expend tremendous energy fighting against circumstances, railing against injustice, or struggling against what appears to be lack. And yet, I tell you, with the certainty of an immutable cosmic law, that what you resist, persists. When you push against a difficulty, you imbue it with power. When you fight against a perceived enemy, you strengthen its hold. The path to freedom, to prosperity, to healing, lies not in opposition, but in harmonious non-resistance. Consider the simple analogy of a stream. If you try to block its flow, it builds up pressure, it finds another way, or it eventually overwhelms your efforts. But if you flow with it, if you understand its current, you can navigate it with ease, allowing it to carry you effortlessly to your destination. Life, in its essence, is a river of energy, and non-resistance is the art of gracefully riding its currents, rather than battling against them. This does not mean condoning injustice or ignoring challenges. It means refusing to give power to the negative appearance. It means acknowledging what is in the outer world, but immediately turning your attention, your word, and your faith to the spiritual truth of the situation. It means saying, "This challenge appears, but I know the divine plan for me is one of perfection, and I bless this situation, knowing it is working for my highest good." Think of the resilient spirit of Thomas Edison. When faced with countless failures, did he resist the outcome with frustration and anger? No, he simply observed, learned, and adjusted. He did not fight the failed experiments, he embraced them as data, as stepping stones towards his ultimate success. His non-resistance to temporary setbacks allowed him to maintain his creative flow, and eventually manifest his brilliant inventions. He understood that every apparent block held a hidden lesson, and to fight the block was to miss the lesson. And what of Andrew Carnegie, his beta? Using this acumen was certainly sharp, but his true power lay in his ability to adapt and flow with economic shifts, market demands, and competitive pressures. He didn't rigidly cling to outdated methods when new opportunities arose. He didn't waste energy battling every competitor. He focused on building his own empire with vision and efficiency. His non-resistance to change, his willingness to see obstacles as opportunities, allowed him to become an industrial titan. He flowed where the energy was, rather than trying to force it. The very essence of non-resistance is a profound trust in the inherent goodness and order of the universe. It is the understanding that divine intelligence is always working for your good, even through what appears to be adverse circumstances. When you resist, you are essentially saying, "I know better than the infinite." When you embrace non-resistance, you align yourself with the all-wise, all-powerful flow of life. Remember Walt Disney's unwavering optimism even in the face of immense financial pressures and creative roadblocks. He did not descend into despair or bitterness. He simply continued to innovate, to believe, and to work. He released his resistance to the difficulties and focused on the solution, allowing his creative genius to overcome every hurdle. His gentle, yet firm, non-resistance to the impossibility of his dreams was precisely what made them possible. He simply refused to accept defeat. Many profound spiritual teachers have echoed this truth. Dr. Frank Crane, with his emphasis on spiritual poise, understood that emotional resistance drains vital energy. He taught that peace of mind, achieved through non-reaction to external disturbances, was the key to attracting harmony and success. And Orison Swett Marden, while a champion of ambition, also subtly conveyed the power of adaptability and letting go of rigid expectations. He knew that clinging too tightly to one path could blind one to better, divinely aligned opportunities. So, when a challenge arises, when a person seems difficult, when a financial setback occurs, do not meet it with anger, fear, or resentment. Instead, greet it with non-resistance. Bless the situation. Affirm the perfect outcome. Say, "I give thanks that this situation is now adjusted by divine love, and only good can come out of it." By refusing to give power to the negative, you dissolve its hold. You are not condoning, you are transmuting. Prentice Mulford beautifully articulated the law of dissipation for negative thoughts and feelings, explaining that they only hold power as long as they are fed by resistance. He taught that when you cease to resist a negative impression, it naturally loses its energy and fades away. And Thomas Troward, with his precise logic, showed that the adversity is merely a temporary condition of the subjective mind, and by refusing to give it mental power, one allows the objective reality to conform to the higher truth. Resistance, for Troward, was a misdirection of mental force. When you hold money, or rather, when you face a lack of it, do you resist the current reality with fear and panic? Or do you embrace non-resistance? Do you say, "I bless my current income, knowing it is but a channel for vastly greater supply to flow to me now"? Do not resist the present state. Bless it, transmute it, and declare the truth of your infinite supply. By releasing resistance to what is, you open the channels for what can be. Annie Ricks Millets taught the profound healing power of non-resistance, particularly in relation to physical ailments. She knew that battling a disease often strengthened it, whereas embracing perfect health as the underlying truth and refusing to give power to the symptom allowed the healing force to flow unhindered. She believed that our resistance was often the very block to our own well-being. This principle extends to people as well. Do not resist difficult personalities or challenging interactions. Instead, bless them, release them to the divine law, and affirm harmony. Divine love works through this situation, and only good can come from it. By refusing to engage in conflict on the mental or emotional plane, you dissolve the power of discord. Christian D. Larson emphasized the importance of mental peace and serenity as conditions for attracting good. He taught that inner turmoil, often caused by resistance to external events, created a repellent vibration. True success, he believed, came from a calm, non-resistant mind. And Ernest Holmes, in his powerful affirmations, often included phrases of release and acceptance, understanding that true creative power came from a state of inner peace, not struggle. He taught that resistance was a form of denying the allness of God. The true master of life knows that the universe is always benevolent, always working for their highest good. They may encounter challenges, but they do not resist them. They embrace them as opportunities for growth, as signposts on the path, and they transmute them with the power of their word and their non-resistant attitude. The profound insights of Ella Wheeler Wilcox often pointed to the inner state as the true determinant of external experience. Her poetry inspires us to overcome bitterness and resistance, and to embrace a spirit of acceptance and love as the pathway to a more beautiful life. Carl Jung's work on the shadow self and the integration of opposites implicitly supports the idea of non-resistance. When we resist aspects of ourselves or our experiences, they often gain power. True wholeness comes from acknowledging and integrating rather than fighting against. This non-judgmental acceptance of what is a form of non-resistance that leads to profound personal growth and freedom. So, cultivate the art of non-resistance, my friends. When a bill arrives, do not resist its appearance. Bless it and declare, "This bill is paid by divine love," and countless thousands follow it. When a door closes, do not resist the closing. Affirm, "A greater door is now opening." By releasing your attachment to a specific outcome and trusting the wisdom of the universe, you allow your good to flow to you effortlessly. Swami Vivekananda taught of harmony with all existence and the importance of equanimity in the face of life's dualities. His teachings of non-attachment to outcomes and remaining centered in the self are profound expressions of the principle of non-resistance. This is the secret of the effortless life, the path of grace. For when you cease to struggle, when you release your resistance, the universe, eager to fulfill your every desire, rushes to your aid. You become a clear channel for abundance, for healing, for joy, for all good things. Remember G.I. Gurdjieff's emphasis on self-observation and conscious non-identifying. Applied to non-resistance, this means observing your own impulses to react, to fight, to resist, and consciously choosing to not identify with those lower impulses, instead maintaining a higher, non-resistant perspective. And Napoleon Hill, in his comprehensive study of successful individuals, found that they often possessed a profound resilience and an ability to overcome obstacles not by fighting them, but by finding new ways around them, by adapting, and by maintaining an unwavering focus on their ultimate goal despite setbacks. This, at its core, is a practical application of non-resistance. The law of non-resistance is your invitation to step into a life of ease and grace. It is the understanding that the greatest power lies not in forcing, but in flowing, not in fighting, but in trusting. Embrace it, live it, and watch as all apparent obstacles dissolve, leaving a clear, unobstructed pathway for your limitless good to manifest. This is your divine right. My beloved co-creators, we have journeyed through the foundational power of the spoken word, the animating current of faith, the divine blueprint of vision, the essential bridge of right action, the wise surrender of divine timing, and the liberating path of non-resistance. Now, we arrive at the glorious culmination, the inevitable and perfect fruit of all these principles working in harmony, manifestation. This is not a distant hope, my dears, but the natural, undeniable outcome of a mind aligned with divine law. Manifestation is simply the outpicturing of your inner reality. It is the physical world conforming to the pattern you have impressed upon the universal mind through your consistent thought, feeling, word, and action. It is the evidence that the invisible realms respond perfectly to your conscious direction. Just as the acorn invariably produces the oak, so too does your perfectly planted spiritual seed, watered by faith and cultivated with vision, produce its perfect harvest. Many expect manifestation to be a sudden, miraculous event, forgetting that the true miracle is the unseen process that precedes it. The physical manifestation is merely the tip of the iceberg, the visible evidence of vast, intricate spiritual work that has already been accomplished within your consciousness. When you see your desire appear, it is simply the universe saying, "Your order is ready, you have called it forth, and here it is." Consider once more the profound legacy of Thomas Edison. His ultimate manifestation of practical electricity was not a single event, but the inevitable result of his focused words, unwavering faith, clear vision, relentless right action, and patient non-resistance to setbacks. The illumination of cities was the grand manifestation, the undeniable proof of his mastery of these laws. He demonstrated that persistent conscious creation leads to inevitable physical reality. And what of the immense prosperity garnered by Andrew Carnegie? His financial empire, his vast influence, were not accidental. They were the manifestation of his clear aims, his unyielding belief in growth, his strategic actions, and his remarkable ability to adapt. His wealth was not merely accumulated, it was manifested through his conscious application of spiritual and practical principles, proving that the outer world mirrors the inner conviction. The universe is always manifesting. The question is, what are you manifesting? Are you consciously directing the flow of divine substance towards your highest good, or are you inadvertently manifesting limitations through unconscious thought and negative speech? The law is always working, always bringing forth results. Your task is to become a conscious co-creator, directing the flow with intention and wisdom. Recall the magical world brought forth by Walt Disney. His theme parks, his beloved characters, his entire entertainment empire are all magnificent manifestations of his powerful inner vision, his boundless faith, and his tireless inspired action. He manifested joy, wonder, and profound creativity on a global scale, showing that what is conceived in the heart and mind and held steadfastly will inevitably appear in the physical. He literally dreamed his world into existence and then manifested it for all to see. Many spiritual teachers have affirmed this ultimate truth. Dr. Frank Crane, in his insightful columns, consistently pointed to the demonstrable results of positive thinking and faith-filled living. He understood that true spirituality was not abstract, but tangible, leading to improved lives and circumstances. And Orison Swett Marden, through countless stories of success, illustrated that prosperity, health, and happiness were not merely random occurrences, but the inevitable manifestations of right mental attitudes and persistent effort. He showed that the world truly is a reflection of what we hold within. So how do you ensure the perfect manifestation of your desires? By consistently applying all the principles we have discussed. Speak your word. D with authority. Feel your faith with unwavering certainty. Hold your vision with vivid clarity. Take your right actions with inspired purpose. Trust divine timing with peaceful patience. And embrace non-resistance with absolute acceptance. When these streams converge, manifestation is the undeniable current that carries your good to you. Prentice Mulford explained that all matter is materialized thought. He understood that the physical world around us is merely the crystallized form of ideas and energy from the invisible realms. Manifestation, then, is simply the natural process of thought transitioning into form. And Thomas Troward, with his profound insights into the creative process, taught that the objective world is always seeking to express the subjective reality impressed upon it. Your manifestation is the outward response of the universal mind to your inwardly held conception. When you hold money in your hand, and you have spoken the word of increase, held the vision of abundance, taken action to manage it wisely, released it to divine timing, and held no resistance to its flow, then the manifestation of more is inevitable. You will find opportunities arise, unexpected funds appear, and your financial resources multiply in ways both seen and unseen. The money you hold becomes a magnet, not because of its physical properties, but because of the spiritual energy you have impressed upon it, leading to its manifestation. Annie Ricks Millets dedicated her life to demonstrating the power of these spiritual laws, seeing them culminate in tangible healing, abundance, and peace. For her, demonstration was manifestation, the visible proof that God's laws are always at work, and that our conscious alignment with them brings forth our good. She showed that the spiritual realm is not separate from the physical, but constantly flowing into it. The universe delights in giving you your heart's desires when you operate within its laws. It is not holding back from you. It is merely waiting for you to become a clear and consistent channel for its abundance. Your consistent application of these principles removes all blockages and allows the floodgates of supply to open wide. Christian D. Larson emphasized the unfoldment of the soul's power into tangible results. He taught that manifestation was the natural consequence of a mind rightly poised and consistently focused on its desired outcomes. He believed that our highest desires were meant to be brought into form. And Ernest Holmes, in his foundational teachings, stated unequivocally that the universe is a mental universe. Therefore, what you hold in your mind, especially with faith and conviction, must manifest in your experience. The joyous culmination of your spiritual work is the tangible reality that appears before you. It is the healing in your body, the abundance in your bank account, the harmony in your relationships, the joy in your heart. These are not coincidences, they are confirmations of your co-creative power, trophies of your spiritual mastery. The insightful poetry of Ella Wheeler Wilcox often celebrated the power of the human spirit to create its own reality. She understood that our inner world was the forge where our destiny was shaped, and that the external world was merely the reflection of that inner creation. Her verses remind us that we are the architects of our own lives. Carl Jung's work, while not explicitly focused on material manifestation, explored how our internal archetypes and symbols externalize themselves in our lives through projections and interactions. In a broader sense, his ideas align with the concept that our inner patterns and images eventually find expression in our outer world, leading to a form of psychological manifestation. So, embrace the process, my friends, and eagerly anticipate the manifestation of your good. Do not doubt its coming, do not question the how, simply continue to align with the principles, and know with absolute certainty that your perfect harvest is already prepared for you. Swami Vivekananda taught that, all power is within you. You can do anything and everything. His emphasis on the latent divine potential within each individual speaks directly to the inherent capacity for manifestation. He believed that the universe was responsive to the awakened will of the individual. This is your divine inheritance, your birthright as a child of the King. You were put here to create, to express, to bring forth beauty and abundance, and your manifestation is the tangible proof of your conscious participation in the ongoing miracle of creation. Remember G.I. Gurdjieff's emphasis on being and doing. True manifestation comes from a state of being aligned with truth, which then naturally leads to effective doing, culminating in desired results. And Napoleon Hill called the ultimate outcome, the Big Six, the 6 primary fears that hinder success, all of which are overcome by the power of definiteness of purpose and faith, leading to the manifestation of wealth and achievement. He showed, through countless examples, that persistent mental and physical effort, aligned with these laws, inevitably leads to material results. The law of manifestation is not a promise, it is a guarantee. It is the perfect, inevitable outworking of every principle we have discussed. Your world is waiting to conform to your highest vision. Speak your word, infuse it with faith, hold your vision, take your right action, trust divine timing, and embrace non-resistance. Then, stand back in awe and witness the glorious, triumphant manifestation of your limitless good. This is your power, this is your destiny. My dearest spiritual companions, we have meticulously laid the foundations of conscious creation, understanding the immutable laws of the spoken word. Faith, vision, right action, divine timing, non-resistance, and manifestation. Now, we arrive at a principle that, while seemingly simple, holds within it the profound power to accelerate and amplify all your good. Gratitude. For I tell you, with the certainty of the divine flow, that gratitude is the great multiplier. It is the force that opens the floodgates of abundance, allowing blessings to rush into your experience with effortless ease. Many perceive gratitude as a response to receiving something good, but in the spiritual economy, it is precisely the opposite. Gratitude is a prerequisite for receiving more. It is not merely an emotion, it is a powerful vibration, a recognition of divine supply that, when consciously cultivated, magnetizes even more good to you. When you truly give thanks for what you already have, no matter how small it may seem, you declare to the universe, I am open to more. I acknowledge the infinite flow. Consider the profound wisdom embedded in the ancient texts. Enter into his gates with thanksgiving, and into his courts with praise. This is not a request, it is an instruction on how to access the boundless realms of divine supply. Thanksgiving is the key that unlocks the treasury of the universe. When your heart is filled with genuine gratitude, you elevate your vibration, aligning yourself perfectly with the frequency of abundance. Think of the enduring spirit of Thomas Edison. While tirelessly innovating, he was also deeply appreciative of every step forward, every bit of progress, every small discovery. He didn't focus solely on the ultimate grand achievement. He recognized the value in each experiment, each piece of insight. This continuous attitude of gratitude, even for the incremental advances, undoubtedly fueled his persistence and attracted the solutions he sought. His thankfulness for what was working led him to discover more that could work. And what of the philanthropic heart of Andrew Carnegie? While he amassed immense wealth, he also understood the principle of giving back, which is a profound form of gratitude in action. He wasn't merely acquiring, he was grateful for the opportunities presented, and this gratitude expressed through his generosity further amplified his ability to attract and multiply resources. His recognition of the abundance already present in his life inspired him to share, thereby opening the channels for even greater flow. When you express genuine gratitude, you are essentially affirming the presence of good in your life. You are sending a signal of appreciation to the universe, and the universe, being infinitely responsive, says, "Ah, you appreciate this good? Then here is more." It is a spiritual boomerang. What you send out with sincerity returns to you multiplied. Recall the joyous nature of Walt Disney's creations. His entire ethos was one of bringing happiness and wonder to the world. This outward giving, this expression of delight and appreciation for the magic of life, was deeply rooted in a sense of gratitude for the gift of imagination and the opportunity to create. His gratitude for the smallest spark of an idea grew into entire worlds because he blessed what he had and used it to bring joy, thereby multiplying it. Many revered spiritual teachers have consistently emphasized the transformative power of gratitude. Dr. Frank Crane, in his eloquent prose, often encouraged readers to cultivate a daily habit of thankfulness, seeing it as a powerful antidote to negativity and a magnet for positive experiences. He knew that a grateful heart was a rich heart. And Orison Swett Marden, that great champion of self-improvement, believed that an attitude of appreciation for one's current blessings was a non-negotiable step towards attracting greater prosperity and success. He understood that gratitude was the fuel for expansion. So make gratitude a conscious practice. Do not wait for grand miracles to occur before you give thanks. Be grateful for the breath in your lungs, the roof over your head, the food on your table, the love in your heart, the opportunities that present themselves daily. Even for challenges, cultivate gratitude, knowing they hold hidden lessons and serve a higher purpose. I am grateful for this challenge, knowing it is guiding me to a greater good. Prentice Mulford articulated the idea that our mental states attract their like. A state of gratitude, being a high and positive vibration, naturally attracts more reasons to be grateful. He understood that feelings were potent creative forces, and gratitude was one of the most powerful. And Thomas Troward, though analytical, implicitly supported the power of gratitude by explaining that holding a subjective desire with a sense of its already accomplished reality, which is the feeling of gratitude, compelled the objective manifestation. When you hold money in your hand, my friends, it is not enough to declare its multiplication. You must bless it with profound gratitude. Look at it and say, with all the sincerity of your soul, I am so grateful for this money. I give thanks for its presence in my life and for its limitless capacity to multiply and bless me and others. Feel the warmth of that gratitude in your heart. By being truly thankful for what you possess, you unlock the doors for more to flow. You are not just thankful for this money, but for the principle of abundance it represents. Annie Ricks Millets taught extensively on the power of praise and thanksgiving to heal and prosper. She believed that gratitude was a direct affirmation of God's perfect supply, and that this recognition instantly dissolved lack and attracted abundance. For her, thanksgiving was an seed of faith, affirming that good was present and more was on its way. The truly prosperous individuals are rarely those who hoard their blessings or complain about their limitations. They are often those who are deeply appreciative of every opportunity, every resource, every success, no matter how small. This attitude of appreciation becomes a magnetic force that draws more and more good into their sphere. Christian D. Larson underscored the significance of developing a positive mental attitude, and gratitude was a core component of this. He taught that a thankful heart created a harmonious inner environment, which then attracted harmonious outer circumstances, including prosperity. And Ernest Holmes, in his daily spiritual practices, always emphasized starting and ending the day with profound gratitude, seeing it as the ultimate affirmation of God's omnipresent good. He believed that gratitude was the spirit of increase. This is why, my dears, the practice of daily gratitude is not merely a feel-good exercise, it is a powerful spiritual discipline. It retrains your mind to focus on supply rather than lack, on blessings rather than problems. It shifts your entire energetic vibration, making you an irresistible magnet for all that you desire. The beautiful soul-stirring verses of Ella Wheeler Wilcox often speak of the inherent goodness of life and the transformative power of appreciating its beauty. She inspires us to cultivate a heart that sees and gives thanks for the myriad blessings surrounding us, thereby expanding our capacity for joy. Carl Jung's exploration of the archetype of the self and the journey towards wholeness suggests a deep connection to recognizing and integrating all aspects of existence. Gratitude, in this sense, is an act of acknowledging the inherent richness of life and one's place within it, fostering a sense of completeness and attracting more positive experiences. So, let your heart overflow with gratitude for every particle of good in your life, for every experience that has shaped you, for every person who has touched your journey. And as you hold money, bless it with a sincere heart, acknowledging it as a perfect manifestation of the infinite supply, and declaring your profound thankfulness for its multiplication. Swami Vivekananda emphasized that joy and enthusiasm were essential for spiritual growth and success. Gratitude, as a deeply joyful state, aligns perfectly with this teaching, creating a positive and expansive energy that attracts more blessings. This is the divine alchemy, my friends. This is how you multiply your blessings. Not by force, not by struggle, but by the simple, profound, and utterly transformative power of a grateful heart. Remember G.I. Gurdjieff's emphasis on conscious labor and bringing intentionality to all aspects of life. Conscious gratitude is a form of this labor, deliberately choosing to acknowledge and appreciate, rather than passively allowing circumstances to dictate your emotional state. And Napoleon Hill, in his comprehensive studies, highlighted that one of the common traits of highly successful individuals was an attitude of gratitude for the opportunities they received, for the lessons learned, and for the progress they made. This positive mental attitude was a crucial component in their continued accumulation of wealth and achievement. The law of gratitude is your key to an ever-expanding universe of good. It is the spiritual catalyst that turns little into much, and much into immeasurable. Embrace it, live it, and watch as your entire world transforms into a symphony of blessings. This is your divine heritage, waiting to be celebrated and multiplied. My beloved architects of destiny, we have laid the profound foundations of conscious creation, embracing the spoken word, the animating spirit of faith, the devise blueprint of vision, the essential bridge of right action, the wise surrender of divine timing, the liberating path of non-resistance, and the powerful multiplier of gratitude. Now, let us refine and amplify these truths through the diligent, unwavering practice of affirmation and declaration. For I tell you, with the certainty of the cosmic echo, that consistent, conscious affirmation is the spiritual drill that carves your desired reality into the very fabric of the universe. An affirmation is not a plea, it is a statement of spiritual truth, spoken with conviction, declaring a reality that may not yet be apparent to the outer senses. A declaration is an authoritative pronouncement, a decree issued from the throne of your own Christ consciousness. These are not mere repetitions of words, they are vibratory imprints upon the universal mind, programming your subconscious and directing the creative energy of the cosmos. Many speak their desires once, perhaps twice, and then wonder why nothing changes. But the subconscious mind, that fertile ground where your destiny is sown, requires consistent, repetitive impress. It is like tilling the soil repeatedly, preparing it to receive the seed, and then continually watering and nurturing that seed until it blossoms. Affirmation and declaration are the spiritual farming tools that ensure your harvest. Consider the dedication of Thomas Edison. He didn't just have one idea for a light bulb. He constantly affirmed its possibility through his actions and his words of determination, even to himself. Each repeated experiment, each new drawing, was an affirmation of his ultimate success. He did not simply try. He declared through his persistent effort that light would be. His relentless focus, expressed through his daily work, was a continuous affirmation that eventually broke through all barriers. And what of the visionary persistence of Andrew Carnegie? He didn't just decide to build a steel empire, he lived and breathed that vision, constantly affirming it through his business decisions, his ions, and his unwavering belief in the future of industry. His declarations of intent, both private and public, acted as a constant reinforcement, drawing the necessary capital, talent, and opportunities to him. His success was built on a foundation of repeated, powerful affirmations of his purpose. The power of affirmation and declaration lies in their capacity to override old, limiting beliefs stored in your subconscious mind. For too long, humanity has unconsciously affirmed lack, fear, and limitation through its casual speech and fearful thoughts. Now, it is time to consciously, deliberately, and consistently replace those old programs with the radiant truths of your divine inheritance. Remember the pure, unbridled faith of Walt Disney. He didn't merely dream, he constantly affirmed the magic, the joy, the impossible made possible in his daily conversations, in his creative endeavors, and in his public pronouncements. Every sketch, every story outline, every piece of music was an affirmation of the world he was building. His constant, passionate declaration of his vision brought it forth into vibrant reality. He spoke his dreams into being, over and over again. Many profound spiritual teachers have made affirmation and declaration the cornerstone of their teachings. Dr. Frank Crane, in his powerful essays, often provided readers with specific affirmations to counter worry and negativity, knowing that the conscious repetition of truth could transform one's inner and outer world. He understood the psychological and spiritual power of spoken words, and Orison Swett Marden relentlessly taught the importance of daily self-affirmation, positive self-talk, and declaring one's goals aloud. He knew that this consistent verbal reinforcement imprinted desires upon the subconscious, compelling their realization. So, choose your words wisely, my friends, for they are the very threads with which you weave your destiny. Let your affirmations be positive, in the present tense, and filled with feeling. Do not say, "I hope to be rich." Instead, declare with authority, "I am rich. Divine substance flows to me freely, generously, and in ever-increasing quantities." Do not say, "I wish I were healthy." Instead, affirm, "Every cell in my body is vibrant with divine health and perfection. I am whole, perfect, strong, powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy." Prentice Mulford stressed that, "Thought makes words, and words confirm thought." He knew that the consistent use of positive language reinforced the mental image and strengthened the inner conviction, creating a powerful feedback loop for manifestation. And Thomas Troward taught that the word uttered was the creative power, the active principle that impressed itself upon the universal subjective mind. Consistent affirmation, for him, was the constant application of this creative power. When you hold money in your hand, make it an opportunity for powerful affirmation and declaration. As you say, "Divine substance, multiply in my hands," also affirm, "I am a perfect magnet for money. Money comes to me from expected and unexpected sources. I bless money and money blesses me." Do not let a single moment of holding money pass without imbuing it with a conscious declaration of its divine purpose and multiplication. This consistency is key. Annie Ricks Millets taught her students to speak the word daily, for healing, prosperity, and peace. She understood that consistent affirmation was not just a mental exercise, but a spiritual treatment that reshaped consciousness and attracted desired results. Her life and teachings were a testament to the power of unwavering declaration. The conscious and consistent use of affirmation and declaration on builds a powerful momentum. It strengthens your faith, sharpens your vision, and guides your actions. It cleanses your mental atmosphere of doubt and negativity, creating a clear channel for the unimpeded flow of your good. Christian D. Larson detailed the power of repetition in impressing ideas upon the subconscious mind. He taught that affirmations, consistently used, literally reprogrammed the mind for success and happiness. And Ernest Holmes, in his daily practice, had his students engage in spiritual mind treatment, which is essentially a powerful form of affirmation and declaration, spoken with authority and conviction, believing it to be a direct command to the law. This practice is not about trying to convince God. It is about convincing yourself of the truth of your divine nature and your inherent right to all good. It is about aligning your conscious mind with the omnipresent, omnipotent reality of abundance and perfection. The soul-stirring verses of Ella Wheeler Wilcox often employed powerful, affirmative language to convey messages of hope, resilience, and the power of positive thinking. Her own poetry can be seen as a form of powerful affirmation for the human spirit. Carl Jung's work on archetypes and the transformative power of symbols aligns with affirmation. When we affirm a truth, we are not just speaking words. We are invoking deeper archetypal patterns of abundance, wholeness, and success that resonate within the collective unconscious, giving our words greater potency. So, let your days be filled with conscious affirmation. Let your mornings begin with powerful declarations of your good. Let your evenings end with gratitude and further affirmations of your desired reality. Speak these truths aloud, feel them resonate within your being, and know that every word is building the bridge to your perfect manifestation. Swami Vivekananda emphasized the importance of positive thinking and strong will in shaping destiny. His teachings implicitly support the power of affirmation as a means to cultivate these qualities and direct one's mental energy toward higher purposes. This is your constant spiritual work, my friends, to reinforce the truth of your divine inheritance until it becomes your living, breathing reality. Do not falter, do not grow weary. For every conscious affirmation is a step closer to the magnificent life that awaits you. Recall G.I. Gurdjieff's emphasis on self-remembering and maintaining a conscious presence. Applied to affirmation, this means not simply reciting words mechanically, but speaking them with full awareness, intention, and emotional engagement, truly remembering the truth of what you are affirming. And Napoleon Hill consistently highlighted the principle of autosuggestion, the power of self-suggestion and repetition to implant definite objectives in the subconscious mind. His entire philosophy of think and grow rich is a testament to the power of consistent mental and verbal reinforcement of one's goals. The law of affirmation and declaration is your constant invitation to participate actively in your own creation. It is the spiritual discipline that ensures the continuous alignment of your consciousness with the infinite possibilities of the universe. Declare your truth, consistently and with conviction, and watch as your world transforms to reflect the radiant reality of your spoken word. This is your power. This is your path to limitless good. My dearest children of the light, we stand now at the pinnacle of our revelation, having meticulously unveiled the immutable, omnipotent laws that govern your reality, the creative force of the spoken word, the bedrock of faith, the sacred blueprint of vision, the essential impetus of right action. The divine grace of timing, the liberating wisdom of non-resistance, the expansive power of gratitude, and the foundational reinforcement of affirmation and declaration. Now, the ultimate truth emerges. To truly manifest the abundant life, you must live these laws, not merely understand them. They are not abstract concepts to be pondered, but living principles to be embodied every single moment. The true spiritual master does not just believe in these laws, they become the law. Their life becomes a living demonstration of these principles in action. Their very being radiates the truth of their divine inheritance, and the universe, being a perfect mirror, reflects this back to them in a continuous stream of blessings. The abundant life is not a destination you arrive at, it is a state of being you consciously choose and maintain, moment by moment. Consider the holistic approach of Thomas Edison. His breakthroughs weren't just intellectual, they were integrated into his very being. His life was a testament to the power of persistent belief and action, embodying the truth that innovation arises from a deep commitment to an idea, regardless of temporary setbacks. He lived his inventive spirit, and the world was transformed. And what of the immense legacy of Andrew Carnegie? His life was a full embodiment of his principles of industry, foresight, and benevolence. He didn't just advocate for business acumen, he lived it. He didn't just speak of philanthropy in theory, he manifested it through his actions, demonstrating that true wealth lies not just in accumulation, but in its conscious and grateful distribution. To live the law means that every thought you entertain, every word you speak, every action you take, is filtered through the lens of these divine principles. It means standing guard at the gateway of your mind, refusing entry to doubt, fear, and limitation. It means consistently choosing faith over fear, abundance over lack, and love over discord. It is a conscious, continuous alignment with the highest truth of your being. Remember the beautiful, holistic vision of Walt Disney. He didn't just create magical worlds, he lived the magic. His life was infused with an unwavering belief in dreams, in the power of imagination, and in the joy of creation. His persona, his work ethic, his creative process, all were an embodiment of the principles he championed. He manifested a joyful, wonder-filled existence because he lived from that very place within himself. Many profound spiritual teachers have called us not just to learn, but to live. Dr. Frank Crane constantly reminded his readers that intellectual assent was not enough. True transformation came from the practical application of spiritual truths in daily life, cultivating a lifestyle of optimism and peace. He championed living your philosophy, and Orison Swett Marden, the great architect of self-improvement, believed that success was not merely a set of techniques, but a way of life, a consistent embodiment of diligence, positivity, and unwavering purpose. He exemplified living the principles he taught. So, let your life become a radiant testament to the power of these truths. When you awaken each morning, bless the day and declare your good. As you move through your day, be mindful of your words, ensuring they are always affirming of abundance, health, and harmony. When challenges arise, meet them with non-resistance and swift declaration of the divine solution. When you touch money, bless it, affirm its multiplication, and release it into the flow of infinite supply with gratitude. Prentice Mulford taught that, to know the truth is to be free. But this knowing is not merely intellectual, it is a living, breathing reality. To truly know the law is to live by it, to make it the very essence of your being. And Thomas Troward emphasized that the law acts directly on the individual. This means that your consistent, living embodiment of these easy principles is what makes the law act on your behalf, bringing forth your specific good. The culmination of all these principles is a life of effortless prosperity, not because you are manipulating external circumstances, but because you have aligned your inner world with the boundless reality of the universe. You become a clear, open channel for all good to flow to you, unhindered and abundant. Annie Ricks Millets often spoke of demonstrating the truth in one's life. This wasn't just about theory, it was about bringing the spiritual principles to bear in every practical aspect of existence, so that one's life became a living example of God's perfect law in action. For her, living the truth was the ultimate aim. The abundant life is not a future promise, it is available to you now, in this very moment, as you choose to live in alignment with divine law. It is a life characterized by peace, joy, harmony, perfect health, and limitless financial flow. It is a life where all your needs are met and your desires are fulfilled, under grace, in perfect ways. Christian D. Larson meticulously outlined a comprehensive philosophy for living a masterful life, one that consistently applied principles of right thinking, focused will, and purposeful action. He taught that true mastery was the integration of these principles into one's daily existence, and Ernest Holmes, through Science of Mind, empowered millions to live a conscious, affirmative existence, transforming their lives by embodying the truth that God is all there is, and I am one with God. This is your calling, my friends, to become the living embodiment of truth, to walk in the certainty of your divine power, to speak with the authority of the infinite, to love with the boundless heart of the divine, and to live a life so overflowing with good that it becomes an inspiration and a blessing to all who witness it. The inspiring poetry of Ella Wheeler Wilcox often called for an integration of spiritual ideals into daily living, urging individuals to manifest their higher truths in every interaction and every choice. She understood that a life lived in accordance with divine principles was a life of true beauty and fulfillment. Carl Jung's work on the self and the process of individuation is fundamentally about living in alignment with one's deepest, most authentic truth, integrating all aspects of the psyche. This psychological integration, when achieved, results in a life that is more whole, purposeful, and reflective of one's full potential, a profound form of living the law. So, every time you hold money, let it be a conscious act of living the law. Look at it, not with fear, but with reverence. Say, I am grateful for this divine substance. I bless it with increase. It multiplies and circulates freely in my life and for the good of all. I am forever open and receptive to more and more abundance now, under grace, in perfect ways. Let this declaration resonate from the deepest part of your being, for it is the living truth that brings forth your good. Swami Vivekananda's teachings emphasize the practical application of spiritual knowledge. He did not advocate for mere intellectual understanding, but for the realization of truth through experience and the living of a life that embodied spiritual principles. His call was always to be and make, to manifest the divine within. This, my friends, is the culmination of our journey together. It is not merely a voiceover script, it is a divine revelation, an invitation to step into your rightful inheritance. You are not meant for struggle, but for unlimited abundance. You are not meant for sickness, but for perfect health. You are not meant for sorrow, but for eternal joy. Remember G.I. Gurdjieff's profound message of Conseil, is evolution. Living the law is the ultimate conscious effort, a continuous process of self-mastery that transforms your inner and outer worlds. And Napoleon Hill, through his meticulous research, concluded that the final, crucial step to lasting success was not just acquiring wealth, but maintaining it and utilizing it wisely, which requires a continuous application of all the principles, making them a way of life. Your divine destiny awaits your conscious embodiment of these timeless truths. Go forth then, with courage, with faith, and with unwavering conviction. Live the law, and your world will be transformed beyond your wildest dreams. This is my message to you, from the heart of divine wisdom. Do not let these profound truths simply echo in the chambers of your mind. Make them a living, breathing reality in your life. Embrace these laws, speak these words, and watch as your world transforms. If this message has resonated with your soul, if it has ignited a spark of divine possibility within you, then take action now. Subscribe to this channel, and give this video a loving like. Share this message with those you feel are ready to receive it. For the more light we share, the more brightly our world will shine. Until we meet again in the limitless flow of truth, remember always, the universe awaits your command, imbued with your conscious awareness. Go forth and manifest your magnificent, abundant life.